Good morning, everyone. This is Kathleen Taylor, and I'm with the Nevada Women's Business Center. I would like to thank the Henderson Chamber of Commerce for partnering with us to allow us to have this wonderful panel this morning about social entrepreneurship. And it's my pleasure to have two fantastic panelists here today. And we're going to discuss social entrepreneurship and the things that their companies are doing in the community and are really mission driven towards providing that type of support and dynamic within the community to make a social impact. So with that, I'd like to share with you some facts about our panelists. So I'd like to start with Sandra Roach. Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure. So Sandra Roach she is the Vice President and General Counsel of Roach Constructors, a commercial general contractor, which is based in Greeley, Colorado. That's Mile High, folks. And has had an office in Las Vegas since 1986. So basically, Vegas homegrown to a degree or established to a degree. She has been with Roach, a family-owned company, for almost 23 years, with 20 of those years here in Las Vegas. She is extensively involved in business, community leadership, and charitable organizations. Just to name a few, she serves on the boards of the National Associations of Women Business Owners of Southern Nevada, and she is also the current president as well. She's the Associated Builders and she's also with the Associated Builders and Contractors of Nevada, where she's the past chair, and she is also a governor appointee of the Nevada OSHA Review Board. So it's my pleasure to have Sandra Roach here with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's also my pleasure to introduce Austri Messer. And Austri is with Lisa Escobar Design, and they do fabulous, fabulous designs in the Las Vegas area and California as well. So to share some things with you about Austri. Good morning, Austri.
Hi, thank you.
So Austri, she is an interior design graduate from BYU, Idaho. Austri is celebrating her third year with Lisa Escobar Design. Congratulations. It's quite an accomplishment. Also, she lends her stamp to many of the company's projects, such as neighborhoods to luxury penthouses on the Las Vegas Strip, as well as California. Also, Austri is very community-minded. She's a very community-minded leader, which is why she's here on the panel today to talk about social entrepreneurship. In that she has walked with Team Lisa Escobar Design during the leukemia and lymphoma societies, Light the Night Walk, and she is a key contributor to the company's work on the Las Vegas Showcase House which benefits the scholars at the Core Academy. So it's my pleasure to have both Lisa and Austri here to talk about social entrepreneurship. And also, for those of you that have tuned in online, please, if you would like to post any questions or comments on our YouTube channel, I will check any comments towards the end of the panel, and we will address those. So thank you again for your time this morning. So let's talk about social entrepreneurship. I think it's a fascinating way of giving back to the community and enhancing and impacting, lives in general. So why don't we start with you, Austri, in reference to, we know that your Lisa Escobar Designs work with the Core Academy and the Lymphoma Society, Leukemia Society, especially their Walk in the Night, their annual fundraiser. Could you tell us what your role is connected to that?
Sure. Well, luckily, serving in the community has always been something that I've done. I grew up with a family that volunteered through church and through school and different service projects going on. And so joining Lisa Escobar Design was just an extension of something that I was already familiar with and comfortable with. The Light the Night Walk that you mentioned is more of a heart-centered philanthropy opportunity that we had because Lisa's mom was a survivor of leukemia. So we gathered our friends and our family and did a walk in downtown Las Vegas to raise money and awareness for that association. And then the Las Vegas Showcase House is something that's going on right now and will be finished in the winter during Las Vegas Market. And that's more of a strategic philanthropy opportunity because we are directly related through business. We're designing, we're decorating, we're giving our time and efforts, but we're also getting to know vendors and getting to know different people that are associated in that aspect, which raises money for the Core Academy, which you mentioned. So through those different opportunities, we have different realms of charity and service work that we get to be involved with. My role as a designer is I'm directly thrown into it all. I get to design for the Las Vegas Showcase House. I get to meet kids that go to the Core Academy, and then with the Light the Night Walk, we were all together as a team out of the office too. So it's been two great different opportunities with both associations.
Oh, that's excellent. And I'd like to also talk about, as a caveat to that, Lisa,
Sandy, actually.
That,
sorry.
Sandy, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That the Roach Constructors, you guys are very involved with the community as well, in that you provide scholarships to local high school here in Vegas and also Colorado. And also you work with Target and for nonprofits such as United Way or Opportunity Village. Would you like to talk about those projects and its relationship to social entrepreneurship?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, as you mentioned, Roach Constructors is a family-owned company started by my father in 1971. And, we grew up learning to give and to help wherever we can in the community. And our company we do whatever we can to help. One thing is we lost my father, sister, and brother different times young. And we decided to set up scholarships in Colorado at the high school that my brothers and sisters and I had gone to, and then here in Las Vegas at Foothill High School, the first high school that we built. We've built quite a few school projects here. And so we give $3,000 scholarships every year in their names in memory at Foothill High School, and then at also Greeley West High School in Greeley, Colorado. And we've continued to do that just to encourage young people to go on to further their education because it's so important. Very involved in United Way through our company and doing volunteer days and whatever. I'm also on the Women's Leadership Council for United Way, which is an avenue to give and to help out. And Habitat for Humanity, our company's been involved in that in helping do different projects. I've also been involved through groups that I'm in. The National Association of Women Business Owners worked and helped Habitat Humanity last year and had a volunteer day. So we encourage community involvement for our employees and through the company by giving financially, but also giving our time too.
And I'd like to emphasize and thank you so much for that overview, both of you, about your companies and its involvement in the community from a social entrepreneurship perspective. And do you feel that is there a connection between something happening in someone's life that impacts them on a personal level that may motivate them to incorporate the social entrepreneurship dynamic within their company's infrastructure? From my experience in small business development, and when we provide counseling to like a sole proprietor or people that are in a partnership, and they want to be socially conscious in their business dealings, it seems that either one or the other has been impacted in some kind of way. Like, for example, if they wanted to start a nonprofit or a for-profit organization to promote lymphoma or breast cancer awareness or something of that nature, there seems to be some type of personal dynamic to that. So could you speak to that? Is there something, personally within your life? You did mention your family members and how that impacts giving back to the community. Could you go a little bit more involved in that and advising our clients or our audience who are entrepreneurs? What are the steps that are involved to take your personal motivation and put it into practice, into business? So how about we start with you, Austri?
Yeah, I think everyone kind of finds their journey, I guess is the word to use, in a different way. For me, I mentioned earlier that when I was younger, I would volunteer through church and school, and that carried me forward to believing that that was something that was important to do. So when I was 21, I served like a humanitarian mission in Canada, and so that was something like a big step in doing something that I thought was right. And then joining Team Lisa Escobar Design, I was lucky enough that she had that same mindset, and I don't know how she got that mindset or where that came across or how that came up. But I know that from experiences in our past, it has given us a route to go down to find the opportunities that we're interested in or that come up. For example, the leukemia walk. Like, we wouldn't have probably felt the draw to that had it not been for a personal experience through Lisa's mom and everything that they went through. So I think as far as something personal that's happened, that it's helped us find the right opportunities for our team. Being such a small business and being able to give back, I feel lucky because it's not, big businesses I feel like have more opportunity because they have income coming in through different ways. But with Team Lisa Escobar Design, I'm lucky that I get to be paid as I serve because it's working with heart. And that's something that we can definitely get behind. So does that?
Oh, definitely. As a matter of fact, I really like what you said about working with heart. Mm-hmm. That really does resonate, and I'm pretty sure that from a social entrepreneur perspective, that is a key component, in addition to the business infrastructure, to working with heart and also being mission driven as well. And with that, let's. What is your opinion about this? And could you please give us a little bit more of how you feel your personal experience really made the company mission driven in giving back to the community?
Yeah, I think I have a similar background to Austria. I'm going to call you Lisa now. Go ahead. Lisa's not here, but it's just the way I was raised, and not anything specific, but helping people in need. And I will say I love animals. I am a big rescuer, so I will help animal organizations. I went and volunteered at Shade Tree and went right to Noah's house and was cleaning kennels there just this last fall on a United Way Give Day. But one specific personal item on top of the scholarships is my brother really wanted to do or set something up for young people for baseball and baseball training. And so our family has set up a foundation, wow, which sort of goes back to what you're saying, sort of the steps you do after we lost him, set up a foundation and partnered with the city in Colorado, in Greeley, Colorado, where we're from, and have set up a baseball training facility. Oh, and so we have we run that, and then the city owns the property, baseball fields, there are batting cages there. We do an annual golf tournament for that, excuse me, to raise funds. And that's been around since, probably about 2002, 2003 now. And that's very successful. But I think back to our company's been an avid supporter of the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure. And it's not because of a personal involvement with someone with cancer, but just knowing the need is there. And so I was very active in Las Vegas for years in sponsoring the Cure, and also being on a committee to help raise funds for that. It's just an overall, where there's need, seeing it and knowing that you can make a difference. And I think that's what makes me feel good.
Yeah, definitely. I can relate to that, and it seems that your involvement with the association of, pardon me if I'm mispronouncing it, the Association of Women's Business Owners in Southern Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, your involvement with that organization as its president, and then you're working for a woman-owned business, correct?
Yes.
And with Lisa Escobar. That dynamic in itself, I think, is an example of social entrepreneurship, because historically there was a time when women didn't have that opportunity to be business owners. We were more of the traditional homemakers, and in a more you know more domestic role, so to speak. And now through the pioneer work of people before us, now we have women's business centers that help us to enhance our skills and development and open businesses as women as well. We also serve men too, and they do very well with us. We're federally funded, so we try to help everyone.
And men are allowed to be part of the National Association of Women Business Owners too,
this
where
is
they're
good.
not
This is good.
they're not left out.
So I really do commend the work that your organization has done in the involvement and development of women entrepreneurship, and also what Lisa has done as well in being supportive in your interest and your efforts in the community for community involvement. So could you speak to that, and how the Association of Women's Business Owners in Southern Nevada, how they, in their own way, has contributed towards social entrepreneurship?
Yeah, absolutely. The National Association of Women Business Owners was started in the mid-'70s for the reasons that you're talking about here, is a group of business women to get together and help further women in business, and fight for the causes that are out there to help them get ahead. And we've been in Southern Nevada now since the early 90s. And it's an amazing organization because it's out there. The mission is to empower and to give resources, and just honestly, one of the biggest things I've gotten is just the friendships, the camaraderie, the energy that you get from a group of women.
Oh, yes.
And you really do, where you realize that there's so many capabilities out there that you can share with each other, and really exchange ideas and help build your business and your personal life too. It helps you in all areas, and that's where I've been part of the NAWBO, which is what you call it, the National Association of Women Business Owners, now for a few years, and we're a growing chapter in Nevada, and it just, the more we can do to have seminars and meetings and groups together to where we can help further really building leadership, building skills, showing where you can obtain finances, showing where the resources are, which is, what you do. All it does is help, you're right, the social part of it, and furthering businesses, really.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, it's such a small world. We've collaborated on many occasions with Christy Eccles.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, she was a panelist for our Women's History event earlier this month. And she talked about business certification. And it's always a treat to collaborate with your organization, mm-hmm. and also to get like a bird's eye view from someone that's within the organization, and sharing its resources and how it's impact women in business as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious about what is it, Austri, in reference to how the whole dynamic of here, in all honesty, who knows, with your dynamic career, you may very well launch your own business, who knows? That's always a possibility. Could you describe how it feels to work for an employer that supports your passion and your commitment in the community, and also how this is connected to social entrepreneurship, and that you have um, a boss, so to speak, or a colleague who is a woman business owner, and how that whole dynamic is has like a positive domino effect.
Okay, sure. Well, I've worked for a couple different design businesses here in town that were all owned by women, actually. So I've gotten to be thrown into a couple different business ways people run differently. And with Lisa, it's very heart driven. She is amazing to work with, and she definitely inspires me every day to come up with new creative ways to design and implement our energy into what we do. And I do have a business license, actually. So in the future, who knows what will happen. But I think I've definitely been inspired as I've seen my different leaders and bosses lead and guide and keep revenue coming in because of who they are. And I think that that's a major draw to why people hire Lisa Escobar Design, is because of the energy and the passion that's behind it. What else did you ask?
Well, I tend to kind of go off on tangents because it's such a wonderful organic conversation with a natural flow. So you guys, you ladies are doing great, and sharing and flowing. What I'd like to ask is, now when you partner with these different agencies, it's not something that just kind of like happens, overnight. It's about being strategic. It's about figuring out which company is aligned with your mission. Mm-hmm. So for people that are entrepreneurs and they want to integrate this, could you kind of take us through the steps that are involved of, okay, why Target? Why not a JCPenney, or why not a Ralph's? Mm-hmm. Why a high school to provide scholarships and not necessarily a college? Mm-hmm. All of that is strategic. It still has an impact, but it's all strategic. So mm-hmm. Could you kind of take us through the process of who a person should work with and why, from a social entrepreneurship perspective?
Mm-hmm. I think for us, and probably for most companies, it's where we can get the employee engagement.
Oh, very good.
And have them buy into what they're doing. Let's say with the United Way involvement where employees can give. But you mentioned Target Corporation, which I didn't really go into, but we have been a client of Target's for years and worked with Target building stores, and they created a program that we've participated in where we go into elementary schools in conjunction with them, in partnership with them, and remodel the libraries and revitalize them by adding not only the construction side of it that we donate, but then the books and everything and rebuilding them. So we've done several of those with Target through the years. That's a big project that they've done. And then I just totally forgot the other thing. There was one other item now, but I can't remember. I know we've done the, Habitat for Humanity. Oh, there is another one I wanted to mention too that sort of, I think, dear to the hearts of a lot of people. We've actually participated in donating time, materials, management, and gotten our subcontractors involved for law enforcement memorials too, which we've done, which has been something too. But it's all about what the employees want to do, and then what we feel, is in our hearts to do to help people and where the need is, and to give back to the community.
Those are some really great points. And could you speak, Austri, and also you as well, Sandy, How important is this when you strategically partners with someone? Not only does it enhance the your community outreach, but also it builds your brand and your goodwill in the community as well. So could you speak to those couple things?
Sure. I think for us, it's been like Sandra was saying about finding someone, an employer that will help out in a way. For us, it's the same. Through the Las Vegas Showcase House, we have to get everything for the space that we're involved with. So we are in charge of the master bedroom and the master bathroom. So that's a lot of product. And so we are reaching out to vendors locally who will make custom pieces through upholstery or building furniture, as well as nationwide. And I've also been involved with the Picnic by Design, which is for the AIDS Foundation. It takes place in downtown at the Smith Center. And it's a picnic that all the proceeds go towards that. So finding someone to give their time and their effort along with you is something that can be difficult to do. And as we've been involved in these different opportunities, we've been approached by other people to be able to come in and help out too. So people see what you're doing and they notice you, and through social media, your brand is definitely built and people recognize your name around the community and you're given opportunities that way. We also recently did a meeting at one of the luxury apartment communities here in town, where we taught different tips and tricks and resources for the people living there. And so that maybe it's not going to give you the ideal clients that you're looking for, but in the long-term aspect of it, your name's getting out there, your brand is getting out there. And so that has helped us grow our brand and become better known throughout the community.
This is very good. Now, Sandy, do you have any thoughts about how all of the activities that you're involved with on a volunteer basis, and also for Roche Constructors, how that enhances your brand and goodwill in the community as well?
Not that I do a lot of what I do, just for the company, but definitely it has kept the company name out there. I have to say construction and the whole field has been very difficult, for the last 10 years, and it's finally building up again. So maintaining and keeping your head up when there isn't work, was a tough time. And a lot of companies changed. We pretty much maintained and stayed where we were. And then, we're now rebuilding our projects again, which there were no projects for a while in Nevada, and it was very difficult actually across the entire country.
Yes.
And so I just feel like everything I do does get our name out there, but I also, the volunteerism or the feeling when you do something and you're helping, you're mentoring,
Yes.
It's a good feeling too, and so I get the personal satisfaction, and I feel like we get the business satisfaction. One project I wanted to bring up that we did complete last year that was a very unique, it's actually a one in the world concept. Wow. Is Sean's Park at Opportunity Village. Wow. For the citizens of Opportunity Village. Yes. It came to fruition, after several years of the Morrissey family. The Sean Morrissey is a citizen at Opportunity Village, and they wanted to put in a park or come up with a way, but there's sensory perception areas. It's not typical playground equipment. Wow. There is a teeter-totter for wheelchairs.
That's fantastic.
And so that's one that's really been one of our showcase projects, and it was such an honor to work with Opportunity Village on that. Definitely. And see that come to fruition.
That's wonderful. And when it's heart driven, when it makes you feel good, and it's also good for business too. Social entrepreneurship, it seems like a win-win, for everyone. And with that, it does take some, it takes some like planning, like detailed steps. So for example, what you were saying, Austri, it takes some suppliers and vendors to work with to provide the products that you need in order to build a structure. That takes relationship building. That takes time. With Sandy, with your work and revitalizing the libraries at local schools, I'm a library nerd. I love the smell of books. I really enjoy the whole experience of holding a book and turning the page and feeling the page, the paper on your fingers. Anyway, that's too much information. Uh, but I'm just really excited about the work that with that specific project, and also with the whole park, unique park concept with Opportunity Village as well. And I'm saying all that to emphasize to entrepreneurs who want to incorporate that within their infrastructure. It takes a lot of planning. There's a lot of detailed work. You just don't wake up one morning and say, I'm going to do A, B, C, D, E, all the way to Z. Start with A first, build upon A, progress to B, then, maybe C. So I'd like to also get your thoughts on this, ladies. It's to your point, Sandy. Whenever a company, comes into adversity, so to speak, we all went through that during the recession. How important was it to follow the mission and not necessarily the money? And what I mean by that is, let's just say things are going fantastic, for a company, and they have an opportunity to venture off, to get this big contract or client that really doesn't align with their mission, but it's a really good revenue stream for the company. So what is your take upon being true to the mission? Because I feel that being a former entrepreneur, being true to your mission, the money will come and it's aligned with your mission. But if you run after, project, client, money, after a while, your mission is just all muddled up. So what are your thoughts about that?
That's something actually, because we work in several states and we're licensed to do that. And at first instinct, you feel like, oh my gosh, I got to start searching for work or something. But you have to take into consideration your mission, your expertise, who you would hire in the different markets or areas, not only your employees, but also all of the subcontractors and suppliers, because as a general contractor, we don't self-perform work. It's our subcontractors and suppliers that we hire that we rely on, and we manage them. So there was so much there, and there is, always, not just during this last time period, to where you have to keep remembering what your goals, what your values are, what your expertise within the company is, and focus on that. Another big item is you don't do something for free.
Very good.
Yeah, I will say
good.
that was huge. I sat through a meeting. Contractors get bonded. I don't know if you're familiar with that process, but an owner a lot of times will want a bond to know that you're going to perform, and if you don't perform, that they can go after some money. And I sat through a seminar, a speaker from our bonding company who said, do not, because times get tough, think you should go out there and start doing something for free or less than actually where you're coming out of pocket, because you're going to struggle and you're going to go the wrong direction. You still need to put your fee on the project and know that it's going to come to you. And the other people who are doing things for nothing are the ones who are going to probably fall out and not make it. And so I think that's very key. You need to value yourself and your company.
Very good. Absolutely. Sage words.
Definitely. Yeah. Lisa's been a great example of this to me, because she worked for years in on the strip and for the Wynn. And so she had that 5-star training but wanted to start her own business. And so when you start from ground zero, it's hard to know what the future holds.
Yes.
So she did just that. She followed her heart, and the people that she met and worked with are a lot of our clients now. And so networking has really helped us to develop the company which she's dreamed of. She knew she wanted to be a business owner, and then she took her knack of style and decor, and this is where we're at today. So it's definitely been something that when clients come up that we don't feel fit our design aesthetic, it's a hard choice. You know, do you do it? And because your client deserves the heart behind it too. And so as we've been able to work with different people, we've learned how to do that, how to do it with heart, and not to just accept projects because they're projects, but wait it out for something that you'll be proud of and look forward to doing.
You know, I really like what both of you said, and specifically what you just said, Austri, with client deserves work with heart, work that involves, you know, your heart and that you feel good about. And that really is what it's about at the end of the day. Especially if you're integrating social entrepreneurship in your infrastructure, does this feel good? Is this the right move to make? Is it going to benefit the client and as well as the business as well? Because you want to keep your doors open. And with that, what are some things, this may put you a little on the spot, okay? What is one main thing that you would say to yourself, to your younger self 10 years ago, from your more experienced self here and now, in reference to embarking upon a career that involves social entrepreneurship? What is something that you would say to your younger self from your older self that you think would really make an impact? That makes any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we can start with you, Austri.
Yeah, she sounds ready.
No, I would just tell myself to have confidence in what I know I can do. I was at school during the recession, so going into the design avenue where people weren't hiring designers because they simply didn't have the money was something that some people were like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that?" You know, so I had faith that in a few years things would get better, and luckily they did, and I'm at a point now where I'm happy. But yeah, I would just tell myself to be confident in my talent and my craft and to develop it to the best of my abilities so that I can offer whoever I'm working for like my 100%.
That's excellent. Yes, Sandy.
I think she took the words out of my mouth. No, I think it's so true. In my 10 years ago, I was not in school, but the confidence part in just knowing that just doing something for one person does make a difference, I think,
Yes.
and knowing that you can do it. And I think that's what we all need, you know, and I think that's part of the reason we have groups, we have this type of a webinar, whatever, just to know that a lot of people are in the same boat you are, and that you can walk into a room at a meeting and not feel like, oh my gosh, they're all looking at me or whatever. It's, you can go in, you can make a difference and do it. And I know I've built confidence through the years, and I think probably most people do. And if I truly also believe the people who have so much confidence to start, they need to be a little bit careful too, because you need to have that fine line and the balance.
Yeah, definitely.
And I just wanted to add something to what we've been talking about, because it goes back to you talking about how we choose a client or whatever, and talking about getting clients. I think the biggest thing too is building that relationship and keeping the same repeat and return clients is very important and big. Like, you know, Target Corporation, and we work with Walmart. Also, we do a lot of retail work with different and do grocery stores, and we built the relationships that they will call us back for more work, or they called and asked us to partner with them on the library. So sometimes that's how you choose your partners in some of what you're going to do. It's where you have the relationships and you're comfortable with that person to know that you want to go help participate in their their activity, their charity that they've asked you to help with.
I'm glad that you emphasized that point, Sandy, in that it really is key in relationship building. And Austria, you mentioned earlier a networking component, and how Lisa was very instrumental and strategic in connecting with people that she knew to build that circle of clientele based upon networking. And relationship building is absolute key, because quite frankly, generally speaking, but specifically here in the Nevada market, people really work with people who they know and with people who they trust and people who will have their best interests as well. So, so if you are, and especially if you're integrating social entrepreneurship into your infrastructure, you really do want to know who your partners are. And because quite frankly, if their activities and their brand doesn't align with your mission, then that may cause some conflict, somewhere along the way. And it may very well affect your client base and your perception of of the company in the community as well. So that is definitely key. Relationship building, networking as well. Would you now? This is kind of ironic. If a person wants to integrate social entrepreneurship into their company, but they may have some challenges when it comes to networking or public speaking. Some people are kind of shy, introverted, and brilliant in other areas. Is there any advice that you would give to that person in their development in those areas?
I actually have a specific example of one of the first women I met in NAWBO. We were sitting in the back corner of a room at a speaking seminar, and she got tears in her eyes thinking about the fact that she might get called on to speak.
Oh my.
She has now won a Women of Distinction Award and stood up and spoke. She speaks regularly.
Wow.
She is the secretary of NAWBO. Her name's Jenny Salazar with Logistical Solutions.
Yes, excellent.
And she tells her story over and over again, but she was petrified about that. I think, and I guess what I'm getting to is challenge yourself. Go to that speaking seminar. Go to something where someone's going to have you stand up. And we've done that within our company. I still remember several years ago at our annual meeting that we would do, one of the administrators, a secretarial position, was asked to get up and speak. And it was the hardest thing she could do. And she stood up there and was shaking. And by the end, everyone was so proud of her, and she knew she could do it, and then you take the next step then. Yes. And you build on it and you build your confidence.
That's a wonderful example, and I really like the whole supportive aspect of rallying together, right, to support those women in those situations.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess I would suggest you don't hide it or keep it within it of, I'm afraid to speak, because I also was afraid to speak years ago too. I mean, I went to law school and walked into a courtroom and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And all of a sudden the words just start coming out, and hopefully they're the right words too, and you're not stuttering. But I think if you share that you bring up a key point that people will help you and want to help you.
Yes. So. And that does tie into the social entrepreneurship dynamic within itself, where you're supporting and you're giving back and you're helping someone grow and evolve too. Mm-hmm. So, Austria, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, finding people to serve with is a great opportunity to do that is by just getting out there and serving. Through the Las Vegas Showcase House, we've met designers from all over this city that we had never met before, who, just like all of us, want to be involved in a good cause. And so through even just going to one different service opportunity, you'll meet people there that maybe they're not in your same business, but a friend that can support, can help you practice if you have a speaking engagement or anything like that. So yeah, I think just putting yourself out there, like Sandra said, is the first step to finding people and getting involved.
Very good. Now, what are time flies when you're having a fantastic conversation. I would like to, for each of you to, what are some like pearls of wisdom that you would like to share with our audience in closing in reference to um, what we've talked about today related to social entrepreneurship?
I guess what I would leave it at, and I'm sure it was a saying I saw on Facebook, like we all see, but it was something about when you're doing something that you like, or I don't have to say love necessarily, because maybe you don't love everything you're doing within your job, then it doesn't feel like a job. And the same
Very
thing
good.
with social entrepreneurship, if I can say that. Find something that you have a passion for, which is part of what we've been talking about today, and where the people that you're doing it with, challenge yourself a little maybe too, but do something that you really like and commit to it then.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. Thank you, Sandy. Austri?
Yeah, let me think about this. I would just say, and I'm not a perfect example of this, but be bold and do what you do with heart. Because even if a lot of people my age are in a job right now where it's just a starting point, it's not something they want to do forever, but find the things that you love out of that job. And I think opportunities will come that eventually you'll be able to do everything with heart because it's something you love. So just like Sandra was saying about finding something you enjoy and it won't seem like a job. I agree 100%. A lot of the times I don't feel like I'm at work. I feel really lucky to have found that avenue quickly and been able to work with Lisa because she works with heart and has taught me to run after that in the same way.
Thank you. This has been so lovely. Now, before we officially, before we officially close, I'm going to check real quick if any of you had any questions or comments that you posted through the live chat feature on our YouTube channel. So if you could just bear with me one moment, I'll check on that. And while I'm doing so, Sandy and Austri, if you could share with the audience your contact information if they would like to contact you, and also with your volunteer organizations as well. Could you please share that with the audience?
Yes. Again, it's Sandy Roche, Roche. I'm with Roche Constructors, and my email address is rocheconstructors@rocheconstructors.com. And my phone number is 702-524-6208. And I'd welcome any calls or emails. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Austri, Austrie. My email address, thank you, is Austri, Austrie at lisaescobar.com, lisaescobar.com. And my phone number is 702-622-7374.
Well, wonderful. This is a wonderful way to start the weekend as far as I'm concerned. And thank you so much, Sandy and Austri, for being here today and sharing with our audience about your experiences with your companies, about social entrepreneurship, and from your personal experience too with social entrepreneurship. So thank you so much. Everyone out there, please continue to work with and through your heart. Be bold, and also be confident and really enjoy the journey that you're taking as a social entrepreneur. I'm Kathleen Taylor with the Nevada Women's Business Center. Thank you so much again for being our panelists, ladies, and thanks again for tuning in. So take care until next time. If you have any questions or comments, please give us a call at the Nevada Women's Business Center at area code 702-734-3555, or check us out online at www.nevadawbc.com. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yay, ladies. Very good.